So you have an idea for a social care business. It may be a resource or a side income, but you keep telling yourself you don't have enough time to start because you're working full time as a social worker and you're already stretched. You are already in demand and you've got your own personal responsibilities, right? So by the time you finish work, the idea of building a business or building something else actually feels overwhelming. I totally understand, but I can tell you this as someone who has been in safeguarding for 26 years. I started my part-time private coaching business 10 years ago, and I'm now full-time. And what I can say to you is this: you don't have to work every evening or every lunchtime to launch a business, and you don't need to launch your business overnight. In this video, I want to talk to you about how you as a social worker can begin exploring an idea while still working full time. And I'm also going to be inviting you to, and I'm going to invite you right now to our Build Your Frontline Business Masterclass. If you need help identifying your next step, just please click the link in the bio and in the description to be part of our masterclass. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lisa Ann Edwards. I'm a safeguarding consultant with 26 years experience. I'm a trainer, leadership coach, speaker, and founder of socialworkcoachinghub.com and the national platform Black and Diverse Safeguarding Conference and Awards. Now, I have used my own professional experience to create coaching services, resources, training, events, communities, professional platforms over this past decade. And I did not build it all at the same time. I didn't build it alone, and I didn't have unlimited time, but I had to learn how to build ideas gradually, particularly when I was working full time as a social worker and a social work manager, because I had to make decisions about what mattered most and what I had the capacity to build on the side whilst I am working, and avoid creating too much for me to do at once. But I recognize as social workers who may still be working full time, you may be feeling stuck, right? Not because you lack motivation, but because the ideas feel too large for you right now for the time that you currently have. Now, this is video 3. I'm going to skim through what we talked about already about how to start a full-time business how to start your business whilst working full-time. And the first point was you trying to imagine the final version and that big vision too soon. Knowing the difference between starting and launching, not trying to build 5 things at the same time. Use focus blocks of time. Ensure that there's a routine in place for you to work on your business, particularly when you're working full time. Separate planning from creating. There's a difference between working in your business and on your business. Pay attention to what people already ask you. Right? You may not need to start with a brand new business idea. It might be sitting on your lap as we speak. Test before you build. It's a great and wonderful and ripe time to do that when you are working full time. And this is something that you do on the side. And then we talked about stability, that your job actually is providing you with stability as well right now, particularly financial stability while you are trying to build. And whilst you are trying to build, it's important that you check your employment responsibilities, such as contracts, policies, etc. Lastly, we talked about protecting your energy. We know that social work is already emotionally demanded. You've got to be honest about your capacity. You may not be able to work on the idea every single day, but you've got to be honest about your capacity. And that brings us to our next point: avoiding comparison. Like, you are going to see hundreds of people online. You are going to see several people online who are doing great things. And it's going to look like they've launched quickly and they've launched perfectly. They may already have their website and their products, their followers, their clients of this, but you don't know what resources, what support, what time or experience they had available to them to bring that to fruition. So comparison can make a sensible pace actually feel slow, and that sensible pace is in context and in line with the capacity, the time and the resources that you have available. I'm talking about mental capacity as well. You're already exposed to trauma, you're already exposed to crisis intervention and all of these things that happen in between, right? So for you need to think about what is realistic for me. And when you start comparing online, that needs to reflect your personal circumstances before you start really taking it to heart what other people are doing. The best thing to do is not to watch it, right? the more useful question that you can ask is, am I clearer than I was last month? Have I made one meaningful decision? Like, progress doesn't always look dramatic. Next, you need to think about what you want to focus on first, like how to start a social care business while working full time. You need to know what you're going to focus on. So when you are working full time, your early focus shouldn't be creating everything. You need clarity around 4 areas: the need, the audience, the idea, and what is the practical next step. Those are the things that you need to start with. You don't have to start with a massive membership. You can start with 2 people. It may be that you begin with 1 workshop. You don't have to start with a full course. It may be an hour, which is like part of a half-day course. Like, it doesn't matter where you start. It's going to start small, but you do need to consider what you're going to focus on first. That is key. What you definitely shouldn't be doing first is starting with an expensive website and looking at branding and doing hundreds of printed leaflets and social media platforms and large events. And like, you don't need to do all of that. It is possible to look established and still be unsure about what you're offering. There's a way of doing that. But the important thing is that you begin with clarity. The clarity is your kryptonite. Once you have that clarity, that makes life much easier for you. It saves you time, it saves you effort, and sometimes embarrassment halfway down the line, to be honest, because you're clear about what the offer is. Then you build the idea around what's actually required. So all of this I'm sharing with you because I would like to invite you to think about what social care business is going to work for you. So I want you to put in the comments for me, what's your idea? What stage are you at with your idea? And I want to invite you to the free Build Your Frontline Business Masterclass. It's for social workers and helping professionals. And it's for those of you who actually want to explore how your experience could become a service or a resource or a program or a project. Like, even though you're working full time, I started my business 10 years ago. I was a social worker. I moved up to senior social worker. I moved up to team manager. I still had a part-time private coaching practice. And 3.5 years ago, I stepped back from the front line and I turned my part-time coaching practice into a full-time coaching entity called the Social Work Coaching Hub, where I coach full-time. I do training, public speaking. I have events. I've got an online platform for social workers that has access to loads of resources with events. And I do planners, podcasts, the list goes on, all inside the hub. And it is possible to build something part-time that turns into full-time. That just takes time. Now, if you're working full-time, you're wondering, like, how do I begin and what's the next step? I've got several ideas, or you may already have a business already. That's absolutely fine. It may be that you just need clear direction. The masterclass is going to help you begin thinking about your idea in a more focused way. Of course, I'm not going to teach the whole masterclass here, but I do want you to recognize that you do not need unlimited time to take one thoughtful step. So tap the link in the description or tap the link in the bio if you're watching on TikTok. Get involved in the masterclass. There's only going to be a few of us, so there's limited spaces. So the registration is available now, and you can join us in a couple of weeks' time and be part of our masterclass. And I want you to leave with this. Although you might not have time to build the final version, the final vision of your idea right now, you may have time to begin understanding it, understanding the problem, understanding the audience, understanding what that first next step is going to be. It's not about you putting more pressure on yourself either to create this big vision that you have. You have to do this gradually whilst you are working full time. Start small, stay ethical, protect your energy, and focus on the next meaningful step, because it's going to compound over time, right? So I'm inviting you to join the Frontline Business Masterclass. I want you to use the registration link in the description below or the link in the bio if you're on TikTok. I want to thank you for watching, wishing you the best of luck with your business idea. And don't forget, leave me a comment and tell me what is currently making it difficult for you to start your business. Subscribe and follow for more videos and be part of our discussions. You do not need to quit your job to explore your business idea. See you soon.